In Hong Kong, top U.S. Michael Jackson impersonator Carl O'Reilly was flown in to perform at one of Kowloon's most popular malls. And when you're talking fans, no one tops this one. Practicing Jackson's moves every day by watching his videos and then repeating the steps, step by step in front of a mirror. Not to be outdone, Hong Kong's very own Michael Jackson, Michael Chan, also performed for the crowd, with decades of practice put into his act trying to perfect those legendary moves. Perhaps the most touching tribute came from Michael's boyhood hometown of Gary, Indiana, which held its own celebration of his life and music. With more than 6,000 people attending an upbeat memorial event that featured performers and, of course, the obligatory zombies recreating the Thriller video. Family friend Reverend Jesse Jackson praised Michael's parents for the job they did in raising their family whilst living in a small two-bedroom house in a working-class neighborhood.
Today, we thank and praise God for Michael. We thank God for the Jackson family. We thank God for a mother and a father that birthed them, bred them, taught them, disciplined them, gave them hope, gave them joy.
The Jacksons moved from Gary, southeast of Chicago, after the Jackson 5 recorded their first album. As streams of fans flocked to the Jacksons' former home in homage to his late son, Joe Jackson, a former crane operator at U.S. Steel, relished the opportunity to address his former hometown crowd.
I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, because it's a pleasure to be back to see so many people here. So, you know, it's always good to come back home, you know that.
Meanwhile, the reverberations of Michael's sudden death were continuing to be felt across the globe. And even well-known stars, work colleagues, and peers of Michael Jackson himself could not believe this larger-than-life figure had left us.
My whole life's been influenced by Michael. I mean, I was talking to Michael 2 weeks ago. I was on the phone with him. So we were going to do a collaboration together for the show. So I'm really still kind of in shock. I'm very saddened. Very saddened. So many important moments in my life have been inspired by Michael.
Many fellow performers simply felt as abandoned as his fans. In the end, Michael was the shining star that even they looked up to in times of professional and personal hardship.
Music, just pushing, just like making sure every single thing I did, I looked at his stage show as the ultimate. And to me, it's like every move, every hand, just everything, you know. And I kind of want to do that, you know. So to me, it was kind of like, well, who's there to look up to now, you know? So we just have to keep going over the videos.
Well, I started off singing and dancing. So Michael Jackson was such a great performer and someone who always loved performance and dancers. And I started off in New York, and I remember he was having an audition for one of those great, big, epic music videos, and they were just looking for guys. And I went anyway, because I was like, I want to be a part of that. He was just something that you wanted to be a part of. He gave us so much music, so many incredible performances, so many incredible videos. You know, he's going to be missed. We were all looking forward to his comeback.
Michael was not only an inspiration, but he was like, the biggest guy on the planet. Like, he was like your best friend. You know, growing up to Mike, it's devastating, but at the same time, I just been doing my moves. I've been just on like a little celebration tip, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like set him off in a good way, you know?
He actually came to see me in the studio, and I rehearsed the whole speech on how I would salute the general. And by the time he got to the studio, I shook his hand. My whole voice box was gone and my hands were trembling. No man in existence has ever done that to me, besides Michael Jackson.
Other stars just wanted to applaud Michael for the time he spent on this earth and the way he spent it.
The tragedy is if you lived your life and didn't do what you came to do with it. Brother Michael Jackson, hey, he did a lot with his life. Did he do all of it? That's for him to know, and you know, I'm not the one to judge that. But he did a lot. In that lifetime, he did a lot. So there's no tragedy there.
Michael was like a child. It's like a child when you talk to him, you know,
Very effervescent as well.
You have to kind of prompt the conversation, you know, it's just like a child, really innocent, a very beautiful, beautiful person.
Meanwhile, other performers were still coming to grips with the sad news of Michael's passing.
Just really horribly sad.
I mean, all of them are so great, you know, from top to bottom. He was the greatest.
Stars from the music world were naturally hit hard by the news, and rappers like 21-year-old Ace Hood and hip-hop artist Ne-Yo felt like they had lost a childhood friend.
Oh, man, you know, growing up, man, in my household, man, you know, we definitely grew up on Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? I definitely, you know, remember being in the house moonwalking in my socks, you know what I mean?
Oh, man, I can think back to being 8 years old, skating around in the kitchen on my socks trying to figure out the moonwalk and all that, so yeah.
Whilst rapper Fabulous admitted his wardrobe was heavily influenced by the one-glove trendsetter.
You know, I had it all from the Thriller jacket to the toy glove that you put glue on and put the glitter on the glove, you know, so, you know, just losing him was a tremendous loss to the world, if not just the music generation as well.
Hip-hop artists William North Pole and Jeremiah summed it up best by describing the huge hole that Michael had left.
As far as Michael Jackson passing away, I feel like, you know, being that he was the biggest entertainer in the world, I really feel like 50% of music is gone.
So, I mean, you know, he's growing up from Jackson 5 until now, definitely. Still, you know, heavily influenced. He'll never be forgotten. He's never going to, you know, his music never dies.
And those entertainers who had been around longer in the industry also paid heartfelt tributes to a man who knew how to give as a performer.
He's the greatest entertainer of all time. Bottom line, there's no one who could compare to him. There's no one who's had, you know, over 40 years of music in them, from a child on up to being 50-year-old and about to go on a world tour, to play 50 dates in one city alone and sell them out in a day, basically.
Michael is like the muse of any musician. You know, he inspired you and he made you feel anything that